You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Dave. This is FFOP Radio. I moved things around a little bit, so we're doing a bit of an odd show. But hey, here we are. Maybe I'll move this mic over, but here we are. Can you hear me okay? It looks like it's catching my voice, but hi. Weird, right? This is not the right time for a show, but my co-host and producer is here. Krista's over there off camera.
Hello.
I moved literally everything. The problem was many problems. I don't know. Last night I was not feeling good. My co-host was not here. I kept knocking crap over. So now and also the other computer I got, which I thought was better, chugged. Ugh, I hated it. What is happening, Brick Newton? See now when I see here, but I have to read over here. Huh? Ooh, There we go. So, but I think it's working out. Does it look choppy? Does it sound okay? That's what we're doing here. This is where I'm going to be like once I get, if I get the radio station that I have on the farthest of back burners going, this is where it'll end up. If not, then it'll, whatever. I'll just keep doing the same thing that I'm doing now. What else do I have for you? Basically nothing. That's what I was going to do. Instead of just have nothing playing, I was going to have...
Looks and sounds good, says Brick.
Beautiful. There's a little bed music. So what's going on with you guys? Breakfast time where Brick's at. It's also hot. I'm a little jealous.
Yeah.
Little jealous.
It's a little cold here.
Oh.
I went, that meeting that I had yesterday, it was still like daylight when I went to it, and I had just like a light sweater on, and then I leave said meeting very late, it's very dark out, and froze my ass off to walk to my car.
Here's the issue that I have now. I'm getting, like, I got a wish fulfilled, I guess, because, excuse the construction outside if you can hear that as well. Getting a wish fulfilled, right? I've said it on this show before. I've got many cool coats and jackets and stuff, and I always lamented not being able to wear them because in the valley,
We don't need them.
you don't need them. I take them places just in case, or like whenever I went ice skating, I would bring them because, like, as soon as you're done on the rink and you want to grab that hot chocolate, all your sweat freezes to your body and you need something. I don't know, but now I'm like in heavy rotation. All of my jackets are spread all over everywhere I go, just in case I forget them. Like, I've got jackets at the building. I've got jackets over here. I've got jackets over there. I've got coats in every room also. I have to wear long underwear. It's annoying. Oh my God. Like, it feels almost like going back in time and having to wear, like suits of old. And like ladies having to wear their petticoats in various layers, and like having to take a piss takes 20 minutes just to get the water flowing. And I don't like to think I'm an obnoxious person. But like what makes me insane now is like a new thing that I never had to deal with, except for like when my mom would make me wear long johns like in the winter back when I was a kid. But now when I wear long johns because I want to and I need them, it's a struggle because you want, like when you wear a long sleeve shirt through a sweater, right? Because you have these guys, you have fingers, and you grab onto those sleeves and boom, double fist out through the jacket or whatever so they don't ride up. And because it's annoying. Well, your feet can't do that. So how do you do it, right? How do you make... I've tried preloading them. Like I've tried making a three-piece, like, bottom half of my body sandwich, right? So I'll like put the hot underwear, the thermal underwear in the pants, right? Then I put the boxers in the thermal underwear. It still doesn't work. For some reason, when the pants are perfectly resting at my ankles, cuff-wise, somehow the thermal underwear is like strangling and choking my balls. Like, and the legs, like where my ankles should be, are somehow still able to work themselves all the way up my legs and like try and destroy My genitals, and I don't understand it, and it's so annoying. Or work themselves into my ass like a
I'm
thong.
kind of surprised that thermal underwear doesn't have the heel straps, like some.
I'm sure some do because I've seen that. But here's the thing: you probably have to go full blown like Johnny Reb underwear.
Yeah, probably.
Because
Those red ones.
Yeah,
With
like
the ass
the
flap.
one hole. Yeah. Oh God, I can't. Like, more power to you. If you feel comfortable crapping through a flap, it feels wrong to me. It's like how when you see, like you over to your grandma's house. I don't know if anybody grandma does this anymore, but like my grandmas and great grandmas had those big, plush or shag, like everything on the toilet, like the tank cover.
It
the
all
seat
came
cover
in one whole thing.
and the mat. And that stuff was just collecting whiz and fart particles and oh my God. And so like imagine that, except you're carrying it on you, right? You're crapping through a little butthole that is just getting infiltrated, right? With farts and poop. Because like when you look at a jet engine, the back of it, right? When all the exhaust is coming out, like the pipes that... little pipe there is that directs that exhaust, I would say does not come out unscathed, right? You're leaving that on your ass. Not a fan. No. Ugh. Flaps. But whatever. If it were the Civil War, I would be grateful for it because I wouldn't want to like strip to the waist and then, humans are so crazy because we do these things to ourselves. And then when we discover the problems, half the time we'll fix them. Because, like, there's probably a better way to get a Civil War soldier to crap in the woods quickly. But I don't think it ever happened because it was just like, man, it's not a priority. Mm-hmm. There should have been a Civil War soldier who's like, I invented underwear that, like, because I can't imagine. Like, you know how, like, dogs will look at you because when they're taking a crap, they're, like, vulnerable and they're, like, making sure that, like, you're clocking them so that they're not being hunted by a predator. You had to do that, like, probably as a dude in long underwear. Like, I got to go drop a deuce. Like, we need to lock eyes every once in a while, and you need to be scanning because I'm going to be squatting down and you're going to be standing.
Sure.
Terrible. Ugh. Imagine. And it had to happen, right? People had to be shot left, right, and center just with their shirt up to their, nipples and their, 3 layers, 4 layers, oilskin trousers or whatever down to their ankles, just dudes, blah, just nude from knees to nips. Oh God, just all these Civil War, and like they have those little mustaches, and like from the neck up, it's like, oh God, he died at least with some dignity. And you look at the rest of him, and it's horrifying naked clown. Anyway, whatever. What are we doing here right now? Nothing. This is just a test. But I guess now that it sounds okay, the test was successful. I'm still going to have to move this mixer like every time I go do something on site, but whatever. How was your guys? Oh, Brick doesn't have Thanksgiving there, so no holiday connection there.
Julia's here too.
It's happening, Julia. Here's the thing. Now that what's happening? Yeah, now that I have to look way over here. See, because the camera's over here. I did that almost semi on purpose because like I'm bad at reading the chat anyway. But I can't even type back anymore. So like the little cares I gave like before the show, where I was like tappity tap 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 to see what everybody was doing and let everybody know I was like basically here. Gone. Couldn't care less now. But I do have you as a little fish for you. A little fish action. Forgot to put that in. Woof. Yeah, I don't know. Moving up here was in the summer it was fine because you go, you take that 10-degree
difference
deficit.
Yes, deficit. Yeah.
And you go, nice. But now, like, the deficit is somewhere around 40 degrees. And that feels totally fucked up. Like, in the summer, it's like 110 in the valley. It'll be 99 up here, which is fine in the shade and when the wind's blowing. And actually, it's not bad. Trust me. But, like, what? Why the lopsidedness, right? Like, why here when I wake up, it's 30 degrees, but when I was back home, it would be 50, 60, somewhere in there. Like, I hate sitting in my car waiting for it to stop being an iceberg now. Like, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's so annoying. And then because there's the thing. I don't know. There's just nothing you can do about it. Like, I'm not going to invest in an ice scraper because I don't want to. It's Arizona. I'm not going to do that because I know if I do, we'll be like, let's go somewhere else where it's warm. And I go, nice. Gonzo. And I don't want to like be like insane and bring like a styrofoam cup of hot water out with me every morning to just like douche my windshield. Because even though in my head it feels like that's a great idea, it's probably terrible throwing hot water onto a frozen windshield and, introducing the concept of thermal mass expansion or reduction, I can't think many things are terrible. I can't think of many more terrible than like daily horrors. I mean, than like blasting your windshield apart in the dead of winter.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like sometimes you see these chuds out here, and they're everywhere. I said out here, everywhere. Those people who are so dedicated to that lifestyle where they'll have like the only piece of glass in their car will be the windshield. It'll be like an open top Jeep or an old Bronco or an old Blazer or whatever. And sometimes they'll throw a rag on the top or like a little leather thing. And the rest of the time, oh my God. Or all these people who who ride those horrifying, they're not even spiders, right? They're like those 2-seater trikes that are wide in the front with the one tire in the back that give you all the advantages of getting hit with bugs and rocks and being exposed to the elements constantly like you would be on a motorcycle, sans all like the fun. Like part of the fun of being on a motorcycle is like being able to lean into the curves and go around and be like, somewhat mobile, more agile than your average consumer cager, if you will, on the road. But these 3-wheeled monstrosities are just as wide as like a sedan, and they scoot down to one little back tire, but whoop-de shit, right? Because you got like, I saw one yesterday coming home, bright orange and black, because that's the only 3 colors they come in, is like orange, yellow, and green neon highlighter colors.
So you can see them.
And black. Yeah, I would want to see them. Oh God, every time I look at them, I go, wow, thanks for rewarding me with that. It's like every time I look at a Cybertruck, and thank God those are going extinct. But whatever. It's just like, okay, like a convertible. Cool. Yeah, that feels like you would have more fun in a convertible because you have the ability to put the top up. This is just a 3-wheeled thing. So if there's ever any divots in the road, you're always going to be fucked by one of them because a motorcycle will have 2 wheels in a row and you can dodge shit. A car has 4, but they're 2 in a row. So you can kind of see where you're going and how you're not going to get your ass totally slammed by your suspension. But with 3 wheels, you're basically every bump in the road is going to hit one of your major targets.
That's true.
And whose idea was that? Right? Nobody's. Because like tricycles have been around for as long as people have had bad balance. And you can put the 2 wheels in the front, you can put the 2 wheels in the back. They're still unfun at any speed, and they're just different variables of dangerous. Like that's why those 3-wheel ATVs like came and went in a hot second because like hillbillies were dying in mass because they would just flip, and like your grandmother had like a pulverized spine, or your cousin had his head flung off because the G-forces as it spun, because like they were tipping machines. I get why you put the big part of the triangle up front, but it makes it's unfun. It's unfun. Ugh, it's not fun, and it's ugly. It's stupid, and it's cold, and you look stupid. So many reasons not to get one of those. And they pushed it hard too, man. Not those specifically, but like when I was taking my motorcycle certification at the end of just 10-year license, they were like, hey, like every fucking day. It was like we were there for 3 days. Every day, multiple times a day, there was this big cardboard stand in the back for Can-Am Spiders, if you're familiar. Those are the motorcycles with the 2 wheels in the front, but you still sit on them like a motorcycle. It doesn't have like a seat. And every day our instructor was like, Can-Am will pay for half of your course if you want to get certified on a Spider. I go, who the fuck would want to? Like, because yeah, you do have to ride them totally differently. Like if you got on a bike, or rather if you got on a Spider with a bike mentality, you would kill yourself because the geometry and the physics are totally different. And that's why, yeah, you would want a certification class so that you don't have just people going out there willy-nilly and destroying themselves. They have like trike classes too, and like big bike classes, but like, some Spider Can-Am rep came in and was like, hey man, six situation we have. Oh crap. Six situation we have going on for you. We are going to give you $80. If every 4 hours you go, hey, Can-Am, and you wink at them.
Julia says, I feel like every time I see one of those, they're always New Hampshire plates being driven by the poster child of a midlife crisis.
Right? It does feel like, because that's the thing. Good point, Julia, because it's, we've given up on our midlife crisis vehicles for budget conscious people, right? Because the Corvettes are still there, the Mustangs are still there. If you've got money, you can still have a major midlife crisis. But if you're midlife crisising on a budget, or you're midlife crisising and you are a gearhead, you get yourself like a Miata, or even like if you're desperate, one of those Pontiac Solstices, one of these little 2-door coupes that you can monkey on and soup up and shit. But they don't make stuff like that anymore.
Right.
Like the Mustangs are getting uglier and uglier. The Mustang Evos look like dog turds. But there's got to be a way that we can meet in the middle of like how cars used to look and how they protect us now, right? There's got to be a way to make something look like reminiscent of a 53 Cadillac, a 57 Chevy, a 1970 Ford Falcon, a something that people like put out a poll, Ford, Chevy, whatever. Everybody loves nostalgia right now, as they always do. People love trying to go backwards. They did it with the Bronco. I mean, it doesn't look perfect, but it's close, and I like it, especially in some configurations, because some, they look just like the Flexes used to, like they're tailor-made for soccer moms and crap, but you can get them with like cloth tops and luggage racks, and you can make them look like they used to, sort of. But they're the only ones that are sort of doing that. I would like to see an old, like, bring back the Falcon. Like the Taurus, I believe, is dead. Like the show is gone. Does the Fusion still exist? Probably.
The Ford Fusion?
Yeah, Fusion still.
Think so.
It's everything's changed so much. I felt
That's just a sedan, right?
yeah.
But it's like the luxury sedan.
No, that's the thing. Like, because Ford used to have the Fiesta subcompact, Focus compact. Your mid-size was the Fusion, and your full size was the Taurus. Because the Crown Vic disappeared in like 2004 or whatever it was. So the Taurus stepped up into that, because the Taurus used to be what the Fusion was size-wise. It was like an egg-shaped mid-sized sedan. But they go, let's blow its asshole out. And they made it the size of, and because it was a police interceptor for a while, it was huge, like size-wise. But yeah, everybody moved away from big-ass engines and cars. So like, I don't know. I enjoyed the Taurus Show, or SHO, the super high output. It's what the police cruisers were. It was like, when Ford was like new and big into the EcoBoost engine, and everybody was getting a turbo boost. Like Oprah came out of every dealership and pointed at every car. And it was like turbo. And here I am sitting going like, why is there no turbo Mustang? And it finally happened, but it just took a while because they wanted to do the truck first. Because if you can take a V6 and give it the power of a V8 and keep the fuel economy of a V6, which is, let's not delude ourselves, almost exactly a V8. Like, of all the V6s and V8s I've ever owned, like there's a huge jump from a 4 to a 6, and then almost nothing from a 6 to an 8, in my experience. Someone's going to shout me down in the comments. I expect it. But whatever. I am interested, though. I don't know how we got here. I am interested in the Slate, like Amazon's little truck that they're making, like print on demand trucks, essentially like 20 grand. And they're actually trucks. Like they're made to be useful, like old Toyota Hilux or Helix or whatever, or all those old, everybody had one in the old days. My dad had one. It went 73 Chevy Love to like 83 Toyota 4x4 pickup. Again, 90 horsepower.
FDO says, sup.
It's happening, FDO.
Brick says, still want my 80s Corvette as my midlife crisis car.
Right. See,
Nearly bought one 6 years ago, but sold before my money came through.
Yeah, or the old Ford Ranger. You're right there, Julia. If I don't know, I have a lot of crises. I just don't have money at the same time. But if I ever have a crisis and money at the same time, I'll probably get like a Falcon. Mm-hmm. I like a Ford Falcon. I like a Ford Galaxy better, but there's never a chance of that. The Falcon is like, the Miata to the Corvette. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because from what I've been told by somebody at the Mustang car show was that the Falcon is what led to the Mustang.
Yeah. And, I would even go, I'm not even necessarily into the muscle because I would love, and I don't see them literally anywhere, but like a 1972 to 1974 Ford Escort RS, like a 2000 or something. I don't know, but like you're never going to see that. I've never seen one on the road, like IRL. I've seen a ton on YouTube and like looking for them. But as if. Also a Fiat. I love the idea of a Fiat, but when you do the research into like the reliability and stuff, like, geesh. And realistically, do you have to worry? Not really. Because like, even Kias and this other company I used to hate, Hyundais, like Daewoo obviously folded, but like any car company now can pump out a car that'll last 150, 200,000 miles, which is not bad. Mm-hmm. Like, Toyota, when I was young, they had this lady driving around wherever she lives, shouting at people out her window that her Toyota Hilux, or the little 4x4 pickup truck, just went, I think it was 400,000 miles. If I remember the commercial correctly, it was 300 to 400,000. But she was like shouting at people and yelling into cows' faces and stuff about how reliable the truck was. But, we live in an era, too, where you couldn't, like Dodge, as much shit as Dodge or Jeep or any other company that you hate personally gets. Like if they were pumping out crap like consistently, they'd have to do what Chevy did and come begging for a handout, and then the government would give it to them because they're too big to fail. Like, oh yeah, well, they made shitty products against the wishes of the people. God, I'm still salty about that because I was working at Ford at the time, right? And that was one of our selling points. It's like I drank the Kool-Aid on that shit because they go, Ford is the only company, American automotive company that didn't go whining to the government for a handout, because they basically ignored the wills of the people and the writing on the wall. And they kept pumping out shit that looked crap, of low quality, that burned a lot of gas. Ford wasn't doing much better, but they're doing good enough they didn't have to go like, ooh, please. So we called it Government Motors, and we all had a good chuckle about it. Still, I did not like them. I was never a huge GM fan before, but now I'm like, But, the aftermarket is, or the used market, I should say, is fine to indulge in. Like I would buy a Camaro aftermarket because like GM's not going to get any more of my money, and any parts are going to be made by a third party. So, morally clean. And that's why you jump through hoops to justify yourself and call yourself moral or ethical or whatever you want to call it when it comes to cars. Anyway, I guess that's it. How long have we been going? For a stupid amount? Not half an hour. That's not bad. If you're interested, I will try and keep you up to date about this radio thing that may or may not be coming, that I will be in control of, possibly, allegedly. In the meantime, I'm on Bullion Plaza Radio every Sunday from 9 to 11 with my co-host, Big Jim. If you're interested, it's not just me sitting here and talking and meandering. Like, it's him, and also we play music, and it's more of like a focused show, like a drive time thing. It's not just whatever this is feels pointless, right? But yeah, take a listen to that. I forgot to put a link in the show notes here because I didn't literally do anything aside from just hit go. But that's how you do it. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Now I got to look over here and get everything shut down. All right, folks. So that's it. What's today? Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can. Okay, so here's the thing that you guys don't know that I do. Off camera is a whole bunch of crap that I had to move
Uh-huh.
that's still over there that
I'm
I have
looking
to
at it
find a
right
place
now.
for. Yeah, so if I can get that squared away and, whatever. If that's not there by later, maybe we'll do a show for real. But if not, then you'll know that I panicked and there's stuff all over the floor.
And the house has exploded.
Yeah, there's a fire and here. So annoying. Do this, right? Do this. As an adult, if you're an adult, do this. It'll probably save your life. Anytime you pull out an extension cord or a power strip or whatever to use, before you plug it in, jiggle each of the connectors, including the ground. Because I'm finding I'm disappointed in residential circuitry, I guess is what I'm getting at here. Because like when you're in a commercial, let's stop with the ending of the show so I can tell you a quick story.
Moving on.
In like the commercial setting, right, the lowest circuit you typically pull, unless it's for a specialty thing that needs less, is going to be 20 amps. So you're pulling a 12 gauge wire and it handles a decent amount of stuff because in a commercial setting, you can't, and I don't know why this isn't the same for a residential, but like you need, I guess in a commercial setting, we don't know how many people are going to be in here and possibly plugging in stuff. So the base is going to be 20 amps and we'll go up from there. Well, in a house, they'll pull 14 gauge wire and you'll have a 15 amp circuit. And that sounds fine, right? Because you go, well, 20 amps, if you look at the back of any device nowadays, typically you're looking at whatever, like there's milliamps is where your phone charger starts all the way up to, like your, what would still be like 5 amps for your biggest non-kitchen thing, let's say a big TV, sound system, etc. So you go, well, you got 20 of them to play. Well, you don't. You can load a breaker 80%. So you're roughly rocking at about 15 to, depending on the sensitivity of the breaker, like let's say 17 to 17 and a half amps before it pops. Same thing with a 15. So if you have a big setup, especially back in the day before everything ran off of USB-C chargers, and thank God for that shit. Like everything I used to use had a big ass, thick, like heavily insulated plug because it was going to be pulling some juice. Now everything that runs around is roughly, twigs, right? Compared to what it used to be. Like these are pine needles compared to timber. And they obviously are carrying less voltage. But moral of the story is, if you're not careful, you will overload something because you don't understand. And like the thing you're plugging in to is rated for less than what the thing is, right? So you're at home, you have got 15 amps certified breaker on there, so you can load it to about 12. Well, the wire thing you bought is roughly made for 60% of that, because they're going to use cheaper wire in a smaller gauge. And so the heat is on, literally. When the electricity needs to flow and there is not sufficient material for it, that's how you get heat. That's how a heater works. When you look at those little coils that heat the fuck up and get mega hot, it's because electricity is going through there and it has to go slow because it's a, whatever. In this case, it's a different material. Doesn't matter. Look at your shit, because when you unplug and plug it, that's wear and tear number one, but that's exactly where it's going to get hot if it's going to. And you can yank and there's a plug in your wall, and now you're afraid you're going to die because there's a piece of metal extending from maybe the hot, maybe the neutral. You don't know. Maybe you don't know where the breaker is or how to even access them or turn them off, and now you're fucked. And you just put a little napkin over it and you tape it up and you say, I can't ever use that again, or whatever your life looks like. So just check it out. I've lost so many cords like this month alone to just like, now that everything's cold, everything heats up because everybody's pumping more. Like keep in mind too, this is a boring conversation, but wherever you put something on that circuit, the whole circuit's going to get hot, right guys? So if you plug into something, a heater, and you go, well, it's only in that outlet, so that's the only one. Well, if that outlet goes to 4 other ones, and they all have crap plugged in it too. Guess what?
Brick says, you guys need switches on your electrical outlets.
What would switches do? Like, and by, so what do you mean by switch? Because like within this,
Like literally you turn your outlet on?
well, because here's the thing, like you can call a bulb, like a light bulb, a lamp, which is its technical term. So, but there are switching power supplies, and there are switches that are automatic, and then there are light switches. So
Brick,
I
we
mean,
need clarification. We also have switches where like you
but here's the thing too, where he's at, and probably where Matt and like everybody in Europe, they have 240.
Oh.
So they have a lot less to deal with. What part of that problem is we have 120 volts, so we have to pull a lot more amps as a result. Because the voltage is so low, we have to pull more amps to where the heat comes from. They got 277 or whatever, 260 or whatever, right? So all those volts mean less amps, so less wattage. But here we decided 120 was cool, and I don't know why we did that. I mean, I don't want to get hit with 120. I don't want to get hit with 277 or 260. I've gotten hit by both and I survived, so I wouldn't say one is inherently more dangerous than the other. If you've got a death wish and electricity is your method, I mean, you can find a way if you're an unlicensed tinkerer. You know what I mean?
Brick says on-off switches. You are not touching
Oh.
the cord when you turn it on.
Yeah, well, we do have switched outlets here, Brick. It's just not every outlet is going to be switched for, convenience sake. Because like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 outlets
There's
in
a lot
this
of outlets
room
in this.
alone. And if each one of them were on a switch, and like just because that's the thing, if you're not used to it, and maybe if that's your cultural thing and every outlet's switched and you go, I'm locked in, I would spend, and everybody else in America would spend the first year of their lives abusing each other, shouting to the heavens, screaming and ripping their hair out as we all forget that every outlet is switched and we think everything we own is fucking broken because the switches are all being flipped and flapped by family members and the like. You know what I mean? Because I've been there. If you go, hey, Gary, everyone is now switched. You have like this long bank somewhere. You know someone's gonna be fucking with it, and
Like Rick and Morty with the switches.
yeah, one way or another, it's
So-
gonna be a fucking disaster. So I get it, but I don't know. It's not. It's like we couldn't go to the metric system. We can't get rid of daylight savings time. Too many people would crap their pants with anxiety and fear, which is why it can't happen. But I get where you're coming from, rather. Anyway, that's it. I said we were leaving like 10 minutes ago, and now we finally are. I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Adios.
Bye.
For the try to
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.